Hi all. I don't have a PowerPoint, but I have some notes on my computer.
Sure,
I'm going
no
to be
problem.
using here.
When you begin speaking, I'll start timing you, okay?
Okay. All right, so my name is Arlene Slocombe, and I'm the Executive Director of Water Watchers. We are a water advocacy group based out of Guelph. Our mission is to empower people and communities to work in solidarity towards social justice through the unifying lens of water. We are called in to support many water issues, and we have a particular focus on opposing the commercialization and commodification of precious water. We see time and again this scenario unfolding where it has concerned citizens on their own unpaid time and expenses, and often for many, many years, who do the work of researching the discrepancies that truly are the role and the mandate of this body and you all as a board. I will admit that I'm only learning about this issue, so it's new to me, but I understand that a well that has been deeded for public access in perpetuity is at risk. I was at a water festival last week down at Six Nations shortly after hearing about this, and heard from a number of people that this well, number 8, is a source for community members who face water insecurity for the very many complex reasons at Six, to be able to come and fill up jugs of water for their own use. I've heard similar stories that this well is used by local farmers as well. This well, as I understand, has been deeded for public use in perpetuity, and these people rely on this. This is really, really important. It's come to our attention that there might be an underlying intent to commercialize and commodify the water source. This is our particular concern. Water Watchers wants to reiterate some of the really important demands that were in the recent petition. The pieces that I just want to highlight are to ensure free and unrestricted access to this in perpetuity. This is to respect and honor the legacy of the farmer who deeded this well for public use. If there is a deed that outlines this, then in my opinion, there should be no further discussion other than if there is contamination at the well. Which brings me to my next point. There are, as you all know, legislative rules and bylaws regarding health directives. There has been reference to the fact that this well might have some contamination issues. I understand that arsenic is high within the aquifer in this region and that other nearby wells got a health order. Is there a problem with this well, too? If yes, please share an up-to-date health order that identifies the problem with this well for full transparency. I understand that to date you have been unable to produce such a health order to concerned citizens despite years of requesting this. Has the medical health officer issued a health order on this well? If there is one, please share it. And if there is a contamination issue with this well, there are existing regulations to follow to be in compliance. I further understand there's some discrepancy on how this well is being designated, whether it's OREG 31908 or the other one, which is 70, can't remember the number. And of course, there would be different regulations to follow, depending on how it's defined. And all of that needs to be made transparent to everyone, all concerned citizens, to everyone making decisions on this matter. There are some concerns around investigating and rectifying any unauthorized environmental damage in the area surrounding the well, including what might be impacted by the building or the fencing. But primarily the issue seems to be around a distinct lack of transparency. So the petition also called for the following: provide a clear and transparent explanation regarding the fence around the well and any related health concerns as per the medical officer of health or the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks as required by law, legislation. Provide an up-to-date health order that speaks to the arsenic that has been elusive for more than 7 years. How is this well classified? I'd really like to hear the answer to that. There are regulations that dictate how to manage the system, so why not just be transparent about that process? As Water Watchers, we would like to be considered a stakeholder in this process going forward. As our name implies, we are watching this issue and are very concerned over the possibility that this body, whose name involves and implies conservation, might be in any way engaged in the commercialization or potential commodification of this water source that many rely on and that was deeded to be in public use in perpetuity. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for our delegate from members of the board? And Alex Wilson.
Thanks. Through you, Chair Clark. Just a question. Hi, Arlene.
Hi, Alex. Nice to see you.
Just wanted to follow up on one of the. I think you listed it as an apprehension, and I think even kind of said you were coming onto this one. Just clarification of what your concern was there. What is your specific concern with privatization or commercialization? I think is it related to the user fee that's in place regarding the access, or is there something else? Just trying to understand if you're able to articulate what that concern is, just so the board has that clear.
Sure. Thanks, Alex. Nice to see you. Our concerns are manifold over the commodification and privatization of precious groundwater. We live in an era where groundwater is well over allocated. There's an awful lot of information to back this up. I didn't have it with me at the moment, but I'd be happy to provide it. We have, for many, many years, argued and advocated for a kind of transparency around prioritization of water uses. And it is, in our estimation, and we've done polls and surveys across our membership, across this province, even beyond the membership, just a poll generally across Ontario, and people are increasingly not supporting the notion of the modification of water. We're seeing this in an era when water is significantly more and more in risk as a non-useful way for us to make use of precious groundwater. And I think more to the point when it comes to this particular well, it's that it flies in the face of the fact that this well has been deeded and gifted specifically for the public to have unfettered access and use in perpetuity. So the commodification or privatization of this well, I'm not a lawyer, but if a deed is present that says that, my suspicion is that you can't do it. So, I hope that answers your question, Alex.
Thank you. Just a little bit of a clarification. Understanding the general comments, I guess, is there a specific risk of commercialization, I guess, that you're referring to or referencing? Like, for example, we don't have an agenda item on our report, so just so we can understand maybe how to take these comments and apply them to the declarations.
Yeah, I understand your question. And as mentioned, I'm just really learning about this issue myself, but it came to my attention first because several concerned citizens called us. We are an advocacy group that gets called by citizens when they're concerned about a water threat in their area. And several unrelated folks called us up to talk about the potential risk of some members, I'm not sure whom or how that fits, but the potential for some people trying to possibly set this up as a water bottling operation here. So that was one potential risk. And apart from that, I have heard other things, and I don't have any verification for that. I'm not sure that could be fully verified, and this is why we were called in very specifically, that this could become another water bottling operation here.
Alex, supplemental.
No, thank you so much, Arlene, for clarifying. If we're not able to get that kind of clarification or that final piece today, we'll be sure to follow up with you. I think our team staff has your email from this as well. No, just wanted to, that helps us understand what the concern is. So sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any further, Wayne?
Yeah, thank you through the chair, and thank you, Arlene, for coming to this event and all the great work you do. I was at the Water Festival in Chiefswood as well. It was wonderful. I think just to follow up with Alex's point, I've never heard of any thoughts of privatization, and I've never seen it been through a lot of meetings and reading the minutes, so I don't know exactly where that information came from. So as Alex said, we could clarify that. So yeah, thank you for your attention to this.
Yeah, thank you.
Any further? Brian?
Mr. Chair, this is sort of, if you'll allow me, just a quick question on process tonight. We have some presentations, delegations before us, and I thank Arlene and Aaron's presentation so far. Can we please have a comment from staff at the end of the presentations to clarify some of the things that has been shared with the board, in terms of the bottled water idea, for example? There's in no way is that our intention, and some of the other points that staff have clarified, and yet seem to be continuing to come up, and it reflects on us as a board if we're being accused of these things, or the authorities being accused of various things. And I just think it's important that we ask staff to clarify once the speakers have had their opportunity. Can we do that, please, Mr. Chair?
Yes, we can, Brian. I'll leave it to the board whether or not you want answers now or answers at the end of the delegations. I was headed to hear all of the delegations because there may be other questions that we can provide answers to, and then provide answers at that point, if that works for you, sir.
Yes, at the end is definitely most appropriate, Mr. Chair. Thanks.
Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, I'd say minimally we'd like to see the deed, and we'd like to see the health order. It'd be great if that could happen tonight.
Thank you for coming out this evening, and pleasure meeting you.